Hey, what's going on? Luke here, and we are here to talk about week 1 of the 2022 NRL Finals. What a set of games. Honestly, there wasn't a game that was a bad one. I feel like in years previous, we've seen some of the finals games and we've been able to pretty much be like, yep, this team's going to win and, this team's got the week off and, that sort of stuff. Whereas this round, I was looking at all the games and I was like, there's no clear-cut favourite. Obviously, there's some more that were a little bit more lopsided than the others, but even then, that's where the upsets ended up happening. So let's go ahead and talk about all 4 of the games. Now, before the round started, I actually went and did my tips and predictions. So if you want to go and have a look and maybe have a laugh at some of my tips and predictions, go ahead and check out that video. But in terms of this one, we're just going to be covering pretty much the actual game itself. Now, we're going to start off with the first one. It was the Panthers taking on the Parramatta Eels. This is one that I was actually at work for, so I didn't get to see much of the game. Kind of when I started watching was pretty much like Penrith had sort of, pretty much not wrapped up the game, but they were well on top and Mitchell Moses had been knocked out and all that sort of stuff. So in terms of this game, I tipped Panthers and I thought that the Eels were a massive chance of an upset, and I was looking at the odds and I was sort of thinking like the Eels are probably going to win this one. This just feels like a game that the Eels are going to win, going to step up for, but Panthers just being Penrith. Nathan Cleary stepping up. A lot of the doubts I had over Penrith was that so many players were coming back in, and I wasn't sure if what would happen, or if they would be a little bit rusty and fall off a little bit. But obviously, they definitely weren't rusty. Nathan Cleary, a suspension that worked absolutely incredibly for him. 5 weeks off, comes in, plays a hell of a game, 10 out of 10 game, then gets a week off as well. So, look, Penrith are in the driver's seat. They're in the box seat for me to actually win the whole premiership. I didn't think they'd go back-to-back, but here they are, still being as dominant as ever. And the Eels were the one side that I thought could knock them off, and I'll get to some other sides later that I thought could knock them off, but instead they ended up dusting the Eels pretty comfortably in the end, in front of a home stadium. Look, it was a good win. It was a good win for them. But in terms of Parramatta as well, a lot's going to be said about Mitchell Moses and just about the team in general and whether they can get the job done, especially this week. And I think a lot of it comes down to Mitchell Moses, because from what I can gather, they were pretty much in the game, and then Moses gets knocked out, and then it's sort of game over from there on. But look, yeah, Penrith just too clinical, too good, just Penrith doing Penrith things. And the Eels, as good as they were, couldn't really compete as soon as Moses was gone. And it's like a lot of teams, take out your best player, which I think Mitchell Moses is. At least he's their most important player in my opinion. You take him out of any side, and they're definitely going to struggle. So coming up against a red-hot Panther side, I wouldn't want to be any of the teams taking on Penrith going forward. So Penrith look ready to go for the rest of the year. The Eels move on to the next week, a second chance. Who are they actually playing? They take on the Raiders, so that should be interesting. So moving on to the actual Raiders game, speaking of them, an upset win for them, although is it really an upset? Because I feel like a lot of people actually tipped the Raiders. Not me, I tipped the Storm. I thought the Storm would come out and win, but hey, that's the Storm done, I think. Or not the Storm done, but I mean, obviously for the year. But in terms of a lot of their players leaving, there's a hell of a lot of them. You've got the Bromwich boys, Felice Kafusi, Brandon Smith, to name a few. Possibly maybe even Cameron Munster or someone. I don't really know. But hell of a performance from the Raiders. Definitely surprised me. I thought, obviously, that they were a chance to win purely because the Raiders seem to just be a bogey side for the Storm. And especially going down to Melbourne, just something about that trip doesn't bother them. It bothers every team except for really them, and I think the Bulldogs go alright in Melbourne as well. But apart from them two, no one really has winning records or anything like that over the Storm, especially in important games, which is what the Raiders seem to be able to do. So in that regards, I thought they were a chance, but I just didn't think realistically they'd be able to win. And instead they came out and they had a good lead at half time. They ended up winning the game. Obviously it got close at times, Storm had the lead, but the Raiders were just, they were on. Topany, very, very good. They're stepping up at the right moments. Hudson Young's come along this year. A lot of good players. And you think there's a guy like Chance who can't even get into this side. And they got Savage there at fullback. They got a lot of young guys in there. But they do have a very nice balanced side. Foggy looked really good. He's someone that I've looked at the whole season and sort of been Titans, they probably shouldn't have let him go, but he's not really setting the world on fire, being injured quite a bit. This is one of the games where I was like, all right, Fogarty, come on, let's go. Jamal Fogarty, Jack White, great halves combination. Jack White can step up in these sort of games. Just a matter of the rest of the guys stepping up, and they did. And they absolutely belted the Storm. Storm tried hard. They tried hard. They got themselves in positions to win the game, but they just couldn't do it. And look, it's very surprising. I think this is the first time since 2014. Not only that they missed the top 4, but they also got knocked out in week 1. So interesting stuff, and obviously the Raiders absolutely killing it at the moment. They've been hot and cold throughout the season, but they've come hot at the right time. So like I said, they go and take on the Parramatta Eels. It should be a very, very good game. moving on to the third game, which saw Golden Point. Although it is weird that the scoreline ended up 2 points because the field goal was from over 40, but Valentine Holmes, what a player. This is one that I didn't get to see a hell of a lot of the game either, but I've seen it afterwards, and what a game it was. But this is what I mean. This round was full of surprises, full of great games. Even the next one, like there was no game that was an absolute dud, or even like those like tight, gritty games. Like this was obviously tight in terms of the scoreline and that, but there was so many points scored, so many ebbs and flows. Like the Tommy Dearden try, crazy. Like he just went through untouched. I've never seen a try like it. All the Sharks players just throwing their hands up. It was very confusing actually, but some great solo tries, some nice team tries. This game kind of had it all, and obviously the finish, like Golden Point into the field goal. Sharks get themselves in positions. Cowboys also get themselves in positions to kick field goals, and then the one that actually goes over was from 40 out. Pretty crazy stuff. That's Valentine Holmes for you. The dude's a superstar. Probably doesn't get talked about enough in terms of being a superstar of the game these days. Take it back to his Shark days. Even when he returned to the Cowboys, there was a lot of hype about Val Holmes, but I feel like at the moment he is easily playing the best footy I've ever seen him play, and in terms of centers, I think he is the best center in the game. I know, obviously Joey Manu as well, but just in terms of what Val Holmes does and what he brings to the side, defense is good, attack's good, goal kicks like the best of them. The guy is a complete all-rounder. Then you can chuck him on the wing, you can chuck him at fullback, does a serviceable job there as well. So Val Holmes, I absolutely love Val Holmes, one of my favourite players. But just in terms of this game, Sharks pretty unlucky. I mean, the last try literally coming in the last play, a sin bin happening as well. So Sharks were just seconds from actually winning this one. So Sharks, I think, can take a lot of confidence out of that. As can the Cowboys. Obviously, a win like that is going to boost your confidence big time if they weren't already confident being a top 4 side. But hell of a game. Disappointing for the Sharks because, like I said, they were seconds away from winning. But Cowboys just seem to be able to do it. That's just the Cowboys for you. Never say die. Can win it at the death. Moving on to the last game of the round, or last game of week 1. So the Rabbitohs pumping the Roosters. Game was a strange one because it started out, Radley got sin bin within the first 4 minutes or so, and I thought, this is not good. And then Rabbitohs went and scored, and I thought, here we go, this is, Rabbitohs going to be alright. Then Roosters hit back with 2 tries while Radley was off, and I thought, okay, well they're scoring while their sin bin's happening, like the Roosters are going to win this one. Then sort of happened again, like more sin bins happened for the Rabbitohs, then they scored, and just like whoever was getting sin bin ended up sort of getting on top somehow. The crowd was electric. The stadium was absolutely buzzing. Rabbitohs fans very, very loud. You can see Latrell at the end of the game, super emotional. Speaking of Latrell, one of the best on the field. I thought he was incredible. Cameron Murray was incredible. Pretty much all the guys that they missed last week when they lost to the Roosters, all those guys stood up, and it was sort of what we already suspected, that they did miss them. But for the Roosters as well, once Tedesco went down, for me, I was like, they're not done, but they miss a lot. Suwali butchered a lot of chances at the back there. Very young, but just in terms of the talk of like, do they keep Tedesco? Do they keep, Suwali, I should say. Should they keep, like, which one? Tedesco, obviously. Just based off that previous game. I know it's super young and all that, but Tedesco's Tedesco. He's so good. And as soon as he went off, my confidence in the Roosters just drained. So, Roosters tried hard. Lots of sin bins. I think that's going to be the talk of the town for this one. Just like that performance from the refs. I don't think there was too many that were that questionable. I mean, like, a lot is going to be said about the whole Radley thing and all that. I mean, it's weird that they were sin binning some but weren't sin binning the other. And then at one point, they were just sin binning any high contact because it was like, we've already sin binned like 3 or 4 other ones, so we've got to do it now. But just in terms of the Radley thing, like, it's just a lot of unnecessary stuff. Whether he threw a punch or not, just unnecessary. Didn't need to happen. Same with like Hargraves with head slam and all that sort of stuff. There's being fiery and there's being grubby, and I feel like Roosters definitely were getting very, very grubby, whereas the Rabbitohs were just throwing some like loose arms. Wasn't really super grubby. It was just more accidental, I would say, and they were still getting sin bin, whereas Roosters they were trying to get into the niggle of it, and it just didn't work, and the Rabbitohs ate it up and obviously won the game. Move on to next week, take on the Cronulla Sharks. I think it's going to be a great game. But guys, that's my little review of Finals Week 1. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts of the games. Did I have a pretty accurate representation of the games? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you happen to enjoy this video, make sure you go ahead and leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to use the notification bell. Don't line the sub boxes. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, go ahead and follow me on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke on YT. For the most part, Facebook's Mr. Luke, but everything else, including Snapchat, including TikTok, Mr. Luke on YT. Go ahead and give me a follow, give me an ad. Also, become a member of the channel. Link is in the description below. Shout out to everybody who's stuck with me. Very much appreciated. Finals footy is here. Plenty of videos to be made. Let's wrap this one up. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See yous.